Order. We're going to start with the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody would please rise. If you would, bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we invite you to preside over this meeting today. Help us to work as a unified team in combining ideas for a great outcome. May we have a spirit of camaraderie in this room to work together on a shared mission. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Attention to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There is nobody signed up for public input today, so we're going to move on to the review and approval of the agenda contents.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on to the approval of the minutes from April 2020 or 27/2026. Entertain a motion to approve. Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. And moving on to new business, auditor presentations from Malden and Jenkins. Mr. Davis. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
The highlight of my year. Get to talk to y'all about what I'm sure everybody's excited about, right? The upcoming audit now that we're past June 30th, 2026. My name is Grant Davis. I'm a partner with Malden and Jenkins. You all have engaged us to conduct the county's audit for this year ended, that's recently ended June 30th, 2026. And I've obviously got a brief presentation to go over the audit scope and ultimately objectives, just to explain a little bit about the process, some what we have already begun to do, some that we have not started yet but that we will do, in the form of a timeline. So with that, I'll just sort of jump right in here. This is a financial statement audit, so the county, as I'm sure you're aware at this point, but the county is required, both from a statutory perspective and from a contractual perspective, to undergo a financial statement audit on an annual basis. And so that is what we are doing. We're auditing the county's financial statements. We're going to perform the audit specific to two different types of standards. One is the professional standards that we're regulated by as CPAs, which is the AICPA and the generally accepted auditing standards. The second is specific to governmental entities. It's called the government auditing standards. And so I'll talk a little bit about government auditing standards in just a moment. But a little bit, maybe a little bit unique in the process too, is there's a second type of audit that's encompassed in this financial statement audit that we call a single audit. It's a compliance audit. So the federal regulations recently changed, but when an entity ultimately receives and expends over $1 million in federal money in a given fiscal year, it triggers this compliance audit that again we call the single audit. So I don't know the last time the county has not had to undergo a single audit as a part of its financial statement audit process. Probably been a long time, but we anticipate having to conduct a single audit, again a federal compliance audit in conjunction with the financial statement audit again for this fiscal year 2026. Here's just a little bit of information about government auditing standards, what's required. And so as a part of conducting this audit under government auditing standards, we're required to obtain an understanding of the county's system or structure of internal controls and to plan our audit according to that understanding. In this case, since we previously audited the county, it's sort of a refamiliarization process and an update process to what we already understood to carry out designing, developing our audit procedures to apply. And then there's some additional information there. I won't read it all to you about government auditing standards and the specifics of conducting an audit under those standards. This is a lot of information all up here at once. However, there are a few things that we like to point out at the beginning of the audit process. One is if we identify any significant risks to the financial statements and ultimately our ability to provide an opinion on those financial statements. And there is one risk that is pervasive in all audits, and we've identified it ultimately in our engagement letter to you all, and it's listed in this slide as well, but it's called the risk of management's override of internal controls. Again, that's not a risk that's necessarily unique to Horry County, but if we identify a risk such as that, that rises to a significant level, then we're required to communicate that to you all. So Again, I've communicated it here, and it's in our engagement letter as well, and it's not something that's specific to Horry County. Again, that's really all audits are subject to such a risk. But our plan is ultimately to perform the audit and certainly to plan it as well, to obtain reasonable assurance and reasonable assurance is key, not absolute assurance, but reasonable assurance that the county's financial statements are free of material misstatement. Risks inherently involve a lot of judgment, and we follow our professional standards in evaluating risks to ultimately, again, plan the nature, timing, and extent of the audit procedures that we will apply. This is also a lot of information about single audits. I won't read all this to you. I think I've already explained a little bit what a single audit is. Again, that's the federal compliance audit, but to the extent anybody really wants to dig into this, this is a great slide to look at. This is just our timeline. So back in May, we conducted what we call interim audit work. I mentioned a moment ago sort of a refamiliarization and update on the internal control structure of the county. That has certainly been done, and we will continue to do that throughout our field work and later stages of the audit. But this is just a sample of things that were performed in this May timeframe. This segment 2, there are ultimately 3 segments, just to keep you flowing with me here, but segment 2 is what we call field work. This is typically conducted at the end of September, sort of mid to late September, and then on through October, where we will be on site for the vast majority of our field work conducting these tests. And this is not an all-encompassing or an all-inclusive list of everything that we will do, but just hopefully provide a representative sample of information that we will ultimately request, the testing that we will do while we're performing the audit. Same concept here is just a little bit more information about the things that we're doing in this segment 2 or phase 2. And then the final phase is this segment 3, review, completion, and delivery. Again, just a sample of the things that we will plan to do ultimately. I know I've got a date on my calendar for your meeting in December, though I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I'll be back to present the results of our audit in that December time frame. And like I said, I know I've already got it on my calendar. But that's basically the extent of the audit scope from a really, really high level. I'd be happy to go into more detail or answer any questions that you may have, and certainly like to give you all the opportunity to provide any feedback either now or if you think about something later, if there's something that you would like for us to look into to a greater extent or to focus our efforts in some general manner. I mean, we will certainly do what we plan to do, but we can expand our scope if there's a concern or an interest in having us do that. So again, I don't want to put you on the spot. If you think of something later, please let us know. But again, happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you. Is there any questions from the committee? Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you.
See you the rest of the week. Moving on to item B, MBREDC quarterly update. Ms. Davis, welcome. It's Davis Day.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to be here today to provide an update on the Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development Corporation. Starting out, we continue to visit our existing industry throughout Horry County and take assessments of their needs. So far this year, since January, we have visited 131 of our existing industry companies, and we have 60 left on our list that we will meet by December. The majority of their needs is focused on workforce currently, pretty much like everything around the world right now, and we are working with them on providing interns, apprenticeship programs, training grants, anything pretty much that we can do to try to assist their workforce. We do have a plant that will be closing in our area that has been here a long time, so we are working to place 25 employees. It is not one that was brought by the EDC, and it hasn't been announced yet, but I feel sure it will be announced on Friday. We have had some really great companies step up and are willing to take on some of those companies, like PTR, Technoware, Registers Machine Shop, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, CRP. But we're working very closely to get all those workers placed, so you probably will not even hear about it. I know we hear a lot about workforce, and this is just to show you that in addition to trying to recruit new companies, our companies that we currently have here need employees. And being able to place employees of a small business that is closing is what is number one on our needs list before we talk about recruiting additional industry. We do have a existing industry committee that also meets. It's chaired by Mike Hagg, and it is a great opportunity for our businesses to share their needs, their problems together, and they really do a great job on helping each other. So it's been really good. I know we had Carolina Shade and Shutter talking about a sand product that they were using, and they didn't really know what to use it for after. And Palmetto Corporation, Sean Godwin was there, and he stepped up and assisted them with that. So it's just great having them all network together. Another way we are assisting our existing industry is our industry awareness course that we've spoken to you all about several times. We came up with this during COVID to be able to better showcase our industry in our area. A lot of people are unaware of the manufacturers we have here and actually what they make. So we take 20 to 22 leaders each year, and they go through our 8-month program of touring different industries in our area. They usually end up somewhere between 45 and 50 each year. And we have graduated 85 people and are starting our next class next month in August. And we do have a waiting list, but we are trying our best to knock that list down. I think now we have currently 6 left on the waiting list. That'll be pushed to the next class. It's been really great not only for Horry County Schools, HGTC, Coastal Carolina University, and our businesses. Our businesses are so thankful that we're bringing leaders around who are helping to get the word out and to tell their children things that they could go to school for and actually have a job here in Horry County. Our recruitment efforts do continue. We have 291 open leads. We continue to close out daily. I think I looked back to what we had in March, and we had 270 open then, so you can tell we continue to close out daily, but we also continue to add weekly. So we have seen a lot of increase. We are working 36 projects. What we have announced so far this year is the 2nd Amazon location in Horry County, and we will continue to have a couple more announcements before the end of the year. In addition to the PGA trade show this year, which was the best trade show we've attended, and I want to thank Ryan. He's in the room with us for putting that together for us. We had a really great time. Zach and I both attended. Ryan and Tracy are definitely rock stars at the PGA trade show. Everyone knew who they were. We also attended the Miami Boat Show for boat building. With the announcement of Oceancraft Marine, we have seen a lot of traffic to our website looking at the Bucksport Marine Park. They have not closed yet on that land, but they are moving forward. And since they are in a time crunch, they're looking for a temporary facility to open during the meantime, which will bring on 93 jobs, and we may hit phase 2 before we get phase 1 off the ground. In addition to that, we have attended a marketing mission in Texas this year, and we hosted 6 site selectors at the PGA One Flight for Beach Classic. Another great event. Actually, we have one of the site selectors that attended that event coming to do a community report card for us. He works with companies, locating them all over the world, and he is going to come in and tell us, he's working on our strategic plan also, so he's coming in to give us a short list of what he would provide to companies if they were looking for a certain area, so that we know what we need to improve on. And we will start that today. He did just text us. We had lunch today at Crooked Oak for Zach's birthday, and he said, we'll have dinner tonight at Crooked Oak. So we're really excited that we're going to eat there twice today. We hosted a site selector with NISA for a fam tour. Zach attended a marketing mission to Toronto last month. And we do slow our travel a lot in the summer. It's hard to find a bunch of presidents in one area that are not traveling at one time for us to meet. So we will pick back up again in September, and we plan to visit New Jersey, Connecticut, do a site selector mission, New York, and a few trade shows. The next thing on our list is product development, which is something we constantly work on. The expansion of the Loris Industrial Park was approved by the City of Loris, so we will be expanding 20 acres into our industrial park. And also the land that we have spoken about a few times in Conway, which will have natural gas, we will be closing on by the end of the year, hopefully. And we also have the MDT spec building. It's a partnership to provide product as outlined in our contract. And we have had a lot of interest. We were close to a lease agreement a couple of weeks ago, but it was a company that we feel do not does not fit our needs at this time, and it could be a possibility later or a different location at a later time, but not as of right now. The building is a shell building with concrete floors, 100,000 square foot, expandable to 150 if anyone knows any industries looking. Sean Randall and Dustin Huey with Dominion Energy attended our executive committee meeting last week and gave a great update on where we are with natural gas. The pipe construction is completed. We will have natural gas in Conway and Myrtle Beach by the end of August. The moratorium has been lifted for Conway and Myrtle Beach. North Myrtle Beach, they have pretty much 90% of the design for where the line will go completed, and they hope to have the moratorium lifted for North Myrtle Beach by the fourth quarter 2026. I would say December 2026. Lastly, our staff had the opportunity zone information completed for the county with all the municipalities, and we've worked with Michael and Beth to submit that to them, and they completed the submittal for the county. It ranked all of the municipalities. We worked closely with them to gather all of their information. I think the process was fairly easy, and that really concludes everything we've been doing in the past quarter. Unless you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Thank you for your hard work. Keep it up.
Moving on to item C, Myrtle Beach Chamber of Commerce presentation. Mr. Butler, welcome.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for coming today.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having us. Jimmy and Matt send their apologies. You're probably sick of seeing them anyway, so I'm sure you won't miss too much. We appreciate you having us here to present what you're going to hear from the team who really does the work. So we've got Diane, who heads up our marketing team, Jen, who's her right hand, Mary, who is probably the most important employee and team member we have, who does all of our accountability, make sure that we're investing the taxpayers' dollars effectively and efficiently and legally. And so we're happy to answer any questions you might have. Since we were last here a year ago, we've gone through a lot of change. We're now the Greater Myrtle Beach Collaborative, and I hope that you have all felt that we've got a new commitment to regionalism in this area. And Horry County in general, I think I've lived here, I don't sound like it, I've lived here for 25 years. I've never seen such collaboration from all of the regions. And it's really exciting for someone that's raised a family here to see this. And we've got friends from Little River and Surfside here, and hopefully they would confirm what I'm telling you, and hopefully you guys have felt it too. But I'm going to hand it over to Diane, who's going to walk you through a little bit of the work we've done this year, highlighting some of the amazing communities that we have. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the tweaks to the budget for 2027 as well, 26, 27. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. So, I know that this entire presentation was included in your packet, along with a wonderful appendix that kind of goes into a little bit more detail. I promise you, I am not going to go through all of that exactly. We are going to be very brief in consideration of your agenda and time today, and highlight just some of the key features. So, first off, some of the numbers from 2025. We had a great year, even given the headwinds that the nation was facing. 17.8 million visitors visited Myrtle Beach, or the Myrtle Beach area, I should say, Horry County, and spent more than $13.2 million. Our advertising programs generated $3.1 billion in paid media impressions. An additional $31.7 billion was generated from earned media efforts, valued at more than $300 million. Our group sales teams generated more than 326,000 group room nights throughout the year. And what's most important I want to highlight is that 70% of all visitors that were exposed to our ads were more likely, said they were more interested and more likely to visit Myrtle Beach once they did so. So that all translates to some really good, what we have been told is industry-leading return on investment of our advertising and marketing dollars. For every $1 invested in marketing this destination, almost $40 is generated, and an additional $20 on top of that in tax revenue. We have a complex advertising marketing plan that's informed by data and we've evolved our marketing, our markets, that's all in the appendix. We also evolved our creative messaging, which had been You Belong at the Beach. We've expanded that to highlight Myrtle moments. These are to hone in on specific experiences that people have throughout all of the communities in Myrtle Beach when they're visiting the destination. And then we've also expanded our storytelling, leading into expanded storytelling partnerships with more than 30 national publications, including some partnerships with the Today Show and USA Today. What I really am going to highlight and dive into a little bit more is our communities, all the ways we're promoting all of the communities within the Horry County area. First up is our website. So visitmyrtlebeach.com is the official website. It receives more than 11 million visitors a year. Every community is featured prominently on the homepage and has dedicated pages that highlight events, attractions, businesses, and stories for that area. This year, we had actually went into every single community and developed brand new highlight videos for each individual community, and that's included on the website as well as promoted throughout social media, and is also a playlist on our YouTube channel, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina's YouTube channel. If you check it out, you'll find a playlist that includes every single community video. We also developed dedicated community campaigns. Each community receives dedicated features within the official visitor guides, but then we have dedicated paid advertising campaigns for each community, making sure that each community is promoted through social, digital advertising, paid search, and more. They're also included in our newsletter that goes out twice a month and reaches more than 240,000 subscribers. These are just a few examples of some of the engaged social fans. Our primary community social advertising happens on Facebook and Instagram. These are a few examples of all of the display, high-impact display creative that is usually targeting and featuring events for each of the communities, but is reaching visitors, potential visitors through the entire trip planning cycle. And this is some examples of our native advertising that is placed near, features each community and is placed alongside premium travel content. Now the next 3 slides highlight some more specifics for each community in the plan. One of the things we are going to be doing, or in the process of doing, is developing individual reports that will be presented to each community that is promoted specifically throughout the year. These are just a few highlights. For example, Atlantic Beach, we added their new murals to our arts and galleries trail. We also have promoted the Gullah Geechee Festival and some of their other heritage, the heritage site recognition that they've received recently. Aner Harvest Hoedown is a key event we promote, as well as the mural for their train recently. Carolina Forest, we did a big partnership with Travel South and Michelin for the American South, which led to a Michelin recommendation for Chef Jarrett at Oak Prime in Carolina Forest. We also did a great partnership in New York City with People Inc., which includes Southern Living and several Travel and Leisure, several different publications, where Chef Jarrett prepared a taste of the Grand Strand. Conway, we have featured all of the various events, but also their expanded river trail, Little River. We had obviously promoting all of the wonderful events they had there, but we also had a 6-page spread that we did in partnership with Okra Magazine, highlighting the seafood that can be found in Little River. From Dolores, we're highlighting the events in Loris, as well as some hidden gems throughout that community. North Myrtle Beach, we lean into events. Socastee, as well as we're doing their events. And Surfside Beach, we have a brand new website we'll be launching for them next month, or this month actually, I believe.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, yay! And we promote a lot of the events within their area, and of course, the new updated pier. Horry County Museum is also something that's featured throughout the year on our website with dedicated content, as well as more than 30 events promoted for our travelers. Campgrounds are a very important area for us with the volume of campgrounds here. We're pleased that our partnership with Campground Association as we work together to promote the destination. One of those key efforts was the RV There Yet television show. We had 2 episodes featured on the Discovery Channel. And then we also have been to each of the members of the Campground Association to capture photo and videos. And we've been hosting stays with and creating social features with content creators this year. Myrtle Beach Classic, we had another amazing year with more than 3.4 million viewers across 18.6 million hours of live coverage of the event. Another 27.7 million video views across their PGA Tour channels as well. Was great exposure for Myrtle Beach. The Myrtle Beach Bowl game was also a great success. We had I'm going to struggle to read this from here. I think we had 6.1 million economic impact of direct expenditures, and that was a record-breaking amount this year. Also this year, we had more than 71% of the attendees were from out of town. Visitors came from out of town. Great economic impact. And with that, I'm going to turn it over real quickly to Ryan to talk a little bit about golf in our area, and then I'll close on the budget.
Welcome, Ron.
Thanks, Diane. Real quick on the One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic. For those you have seen over the weekend, our 2025 champion, Ryan Fox, won the Open Championship, which is one of the largest golf events, most significant golf events in the world. So it's really, really great exposure that continues to echo across really the world from the event. I want to talk about briefly a major milestone in our community coming up. In 1927, the very first golf course in Horry County, Ocean Forest Country Club, opened its doors. Today, Ocean Forest Country Club is known as Pine Lakes Country Club. And so in 2027, golf in our region is going to turn 100 years old. Now, we only get to turn 100 one time, so we've been working diligently to put together a plan to make sure that the world is aware of that. In service to that idea, we've built a full year celebration, including events, paid media, and an extensive earned public relations media effort. The full program is inclusive and significant, and ultimately, if we get this right, every dollar invested will come back as positive economic impact and community pride for our region, not only in the year we celebrate, but it will echo for decades to come. There's an opportunity in the resolutions today for Horry County to help amplify that effort, and just want to share that on behalf of the regional golf industry, we're grateful for your support and your consideration. That said, just want to thank you again for everything you do every day to make our county a better place. And thanks again for your time and attention this afternoon.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. And the last slide is an overview of the planned marketing investments for fiscal year 2027. We have earmarked about $2.1 million for ATAX expenditures. Of that, about 50% will go to our always-on overall destination marketing effort, as well, which includes a lot of digital, CTV, and print, as I've highlighted throughout this, and you would see in the appendix. But it will also include some marketing efforts for nonstop air service promotions as well. We also have about $800,000 that is going to community promotions. These are the dedicated campaigns, and about $400,000 it goes to support those communities directly. And then we have I believe it's 125,000 for the Campground Association partnership and marketing, as well as about 106,000 that is used for Myrtle Beach, the One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic, as well as the Myrtle Beach Bowl. And with that, if you have any questions, that was super fast, a lot of information, so clearly we're available for any questions you might have.
Thank you for that. Is there any questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Great. All of this, by the way, can be found on myrtlebeachareacbb.com if you want to learn more about our campaigns. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll scan through this for you to get to the next thing. Maybe that's the last slide. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item D, financial update for April, May, and June 2026. Ms. Norman.
Good afternoon. So we have completed FY '26. You have financials in your packet from April, May, and June, but since they all build upon each other, I'm just going to go through June today. I will also mention that these are preliminary figures. We're still making entries, so you'll get a better overall financial view at the fall retreat in November. So for month ending June 30th, 2026, looking at revenues across all funds, we've received $446 million this fiscal year. 69% of those revenues were collected within the general fund. For the same time period, looking at expenditures across all funds, we've spent $371 million. 72% of those expenditures are in the general fund. Looking at the general fund a little more closely, we've received $307.3 million in revenues for FY '26. This is 106% of the budgeted amount. We have expenditures of $267.1 million, which is just over 91% of the budgeted amount. General fund total actual revenues are 2.7% higher than prior year, and general fund total actual expenditures are 10.6% higher than prior year. So looking more closely at general fund revenues, you'll see that with only a few exceptions, nearly every revenue category performed above our FY '26 projections. Overall revenues have exceeded expectations for the fiscal year. Turning to general fund expenditures, all expenditure categories came in below our FY '26 projections, creating budgetary savings. Looking at special revenue funds, for the fire fund, revenues finished at 109% of budget, while expenditures came in at just under 100%, resulting in a net change in fund balance of $2.4 million. Road maintenance fund, revenues exceeded budget at 108%, while expenditures were 37% of the budget. This resulted in a net change in fund balance of approximately $10 million, largely due to the timing of projects that will carry forward to the next fiscal year. Beach Renourishment Fund, revenues reached almost 111% of budget, primarily due to that reimbursement received from the city of Myrtle Beach. Expenditures finished at 50% of budget, resulting in a net change in fund balance of approximately $1.4 million. And continuing with special revenue funds, Stormwater Fund finished the year with revenues at 112% of budget and expenditures at 54%. Resulting in a net change in fund balance of approximately $6.8 million. Recreation Fund received 105% of budget revenues, while expenditures totaled 74% of budget, resulting in a net change in fund balance of approximately $3.2 million. And the Waste Management Recycling Fund generated nearly 110% of budgeted revenues, with expenditures at 74% of budget, resulting in a net change in fund balance of approximately $6.9 million. Again, I want to emphasize these are preliminary year-end figures. We're still processing entries, so we will give you a better look at fall retreat.
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, please proceed.
I've waited for this moment. So in April, there were employee appreciation events at various locations throughout the county.
Administrators' contingency funds were used to cover the cost of these events. And after these expenditures, the remaining balance in the FY '26 administrators' contingency is $135,556.44.
Any questions from the committee?
I'd just like to say that was money well spent.
No question. Please proceed with the GASB update and implementation schedule presentation.
So there are 3 new GASBs coming online. So we have 2 that will be implemented in FY '27. That is GASB 103, Financial Reporting Module Improvements. This just makes county financial reports easier to read and understand. GASB 104, Disclosure of Certain Capital Assets. This requires the county to provide more information about major assets such as building, roads, and equipment when they're no longer being used or plan to be sold. And then in FY '28, we will be implementing GASB 105, Subsequent Events. This provides guidance on how to report significant events that happen after the fiscal year ends, but before financial statements are issued.
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you so much. Moving on to action items, a resolution approving the use of product development funds for a strategic product development plan and carrying costs of the Ascot Valley Spec Building. Ms. Davis.
As many of you know, our contract has $300,000 each year that goes to the product development fund. And the spec building was some of the guidelines that we follow to build product. So for the past 2 years, the EDC has paid the carrying costs. We bring that for reimbursement. And also our strategic plan that we're going to be working on, which was last paid out of that fund in 2011. And that is pretty much what this resolution is for, is to reimburse us for those years.
Any questions in the committee? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. We have 3 items from the chamber. We're going to take all these at once. A resolution authorizing and approving state accommodation tax 30% advertising and promotion fund budget. Item C, a resolution approving the contract with the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce to direct and manage the 30% tourism promotion funds. And a resolution to designate funds from the 5% restricted portion of accommodation tax monies held by the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce for promotion of tourism in the Grand Strand. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on to item E, a resolution declaring the intent of Horry County, South Carolina to reimburse certain expenditures made prior to the issuance of federally exempt tax general obligation bonds. And then item F, a resolution declaring the intent of Horry County, South Carolina to reimburse certain expenditures made prior to the issuance of federally tax exempt hospitality tax revenue bonds. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Second. All in favor, aye. The ayes have it. Moving on to item G, a resolution of Horry County Council authorizing an increase in funding to the City of Myrtle Beach Chapin Memorial Library from $35,000 to $89,205 for year 2027 based on a per capita funding methodology and amending the funding agreement accordingly. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on to item H, Ms. Norman, a resolution recognizing Barry Spivey, County Administrator, for being named one of the GFOA's Outstanding Professionals of the Year. Ms. Norman.
So the Government Finance Officers Association's Outstanding Public Service Award recognizes finance professionals whose leadership, service, and commitment have made a meaningful impact on their organizations and communities. This year, there were 50 individuals from across the country who received this prestigious national award, and I can think of no one more deserving than our own County Administrator, Mr. Barry Spivey.
Any recognition that our team receives is because of the efforts of everybody around this table. So I'm grateful that our organization's been recognized for the good work that everybody does, top to bottom. Thank you.
Congratulations, Barry. And I think the key word in there is meaningful impact. There's no doubt that all the county employees are having a meaningful impact every day. And so thank you for all your hard work and leading the ship. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on to a resolution to memorialize the passing of United States Senator Lindsey O. Graham on July the 11th, 2026, and to recognize some of his numerous substantial contributions to Horry County, South Carolina, and its residents and visitors. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Hardy.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that this be presented at our September 1st meeting.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on to item J, an ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement for the development of a joint industrial and business park by and between Horry County and Georgetown County with the property located in Horry County to require the payment of a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes by businesses and industrials located in the park. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on to a resolution to adopt the Horry County Home Consortium Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report for fiscal year 2025, and a resolution to award Horry County Home Consortium funding. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to produce and to share with you the CAPER, which we produce each year to report accomplishments in the use of HUD entitlement funding for the larger community. This year, we completed 22 home rehabilitations for individual homeowners, with another 8 underway. So that's 30, and the average cost for a rehab was $19,783.36. And considering all funding sources, we did 24 home rehabs with 10 underway. The Race Path project was a large infrastructure project for us at just over $1.2 million expended, should be finished by the end of the summer. For our public service projects, ECHO did eviction mitigation for 48 low to moderate income people. The United Way has a program for formerly incarcerated individuals to help them transition back to society. With the grant that they received, they assisted 786 individuals who are coming out of JRL. And Phoenix Renaissance, a summer camp and after-school program for 65 children. ECHO assisted 110 homeless individuals with rapid rehousing. Homeless prevention supportive service were provided to 311 people. 86 households were assisted with tenant-based rental assistance. And finally, we completed, with our partners, 12 new construction homes with another 8 currently in progress. So we greatly appreciate the staff and council support for our health programs, which assists so many members of our community with vital services. This CAPER notice will be published in local newspapers and may be made available on our website for public review from August 7th to the 21st, and we will hold public hearings in each county to present these results. We'd like to bring this back to council with the results of public input for the September 1st meeting. And many thanks to Michael Dobson for all of his work on the CAPER.
Wonderful. Entertain a motion to approve. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you. The second item on your agenda is home funding recommendations. This is award of funding that's already in-house. And we receive home investment partnerships as funding as a part of our HUD entitlement. It's a 3-county program, including Horry County, Georgetown County, and Williamsburg County. We released a request for proposals for homeowner development and tenant-based rental assistance. Our rental development is an evergreen proposal, so those proposals are accepted at any time. 6 applications were received and all were recommended for funding. We have one for Habitat for Humanity of Horry County for build-out of Marlowe Village. This is build-out of the Freewoods parcel that was purchased with ARPA funding. By the county, there are 6 units proposed, $49,000 per unit, and with a total cost of $1,140,000 for the total project, $294,000 in home funding. Also, Home Placer, who is a new developer for affordable housing with us, 1 new unit We would be putting $50,000 into that unit, total project cost of $250,000. A provisional approval for SOS Care, Inc. to purchase a new home in which they will place some of their residents. There'll be 3 rental units. Cost per unit is $72,088. Home funds requested are $216,264. And finally, for ECHO, for tenant-based rental assistance for 50 households, that will be $400,000 total, and home ARP operating assistance of $115,401. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. A resolution to accept the following roads and drainage subdivisions in the Horry County maintenance systems. The first one, I'll take these all at once. Dove Crossing Phase 1, the Parks of Carolina Forest Phase 9, the Parks of Carolina Forest Phase 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 16. Sand Ridge Subdivision Phase 1, Shadow Village Phase 2, Shorehaven Village Phase 3, Phase 4, and Waterside Village Phase 2, and Windsor Farms Phase 2. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Yes, sir.
If Mr. Howard were here, he would ask this question, as this typically comes to I&R, correct? So we're gonna take all these roads in, I'm gonna assume these started to get built a few years back, before we were really collecting any meaningful impact fees. So at every meeting, Mr. Howard asks, you know, we're taking in all these roads, how are we gonna pay for them?
And county staff would say we have a road maintenance fee that we're collecting on half the taxpayers to be able to fund it, but is that the answer?
Primary funding source that we have.
Yeah, so we have a recurring source of income, especially now since the road maintenance fee is legally allowed to be collected by the state to pay for it.
Tyler? On the road maintenance fee, obviously, we aren't gonna need any of the road maintenance fee we'll be collecting from these communities for these roads right now. But down the road, we will. And are we ahead of the game, even with the game, or behind the game overall, since we started this?
Right, so we're constantly reviewing our status, you know, as far as what it takes to maintain and rehabilitate, resurface, you know, do all the maintenance that we need. Right now, we're in good condition. The county road system is in very good condition, and so
Better than the state.
we routinely,
Diane?
Better than the state.
we're routinely reviewing those, you know, potential expenditures down the road for that maintenance.
I just wanna make sure that what we collect is at least covering, you know, we might have an excess of money, hopefully a little bit.
At this point, we're in good condition.
Say again?
At this point, we're in good condition with the funds we're receiving for maintenance.
And we're in good condition for how, at least till next year, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the committee?
One point of clarification, the parks at Carolina Forest
Is not-
13 is not.
Not on there. Correct. Thank you. Any other questions from the committee? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Moving on to community benefit fund requests. Ms. Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got a few here this afternoon. I will go through them. The first one is for the Ainer High Varsity Football Team. Funds will be used to purchase equipment upgrades. It will be $1,500 total from District 11. The second one, we have a modification to. Councilman Anderson called me yesterday and asked to add 500 from his district as well, and that will be for the Ainer Area Athletic Association. Funds are being used to help support travel expenses to the nationals for the 12 and under girls state softball champions. So that'll bring that total to $2,000 in contributions from District 7, 8, and 11. The next one is for the Student Angler League Tournament Trail. Funds will be used for equipment and travel, $1,500 from Districts 8 and 11. Resolution 16 is for the Conway Hot Shots. Funds will be used for equipment and travel, $1,500 total from Districts 8 and 11. The next one is for the Carolina Forest Middle of the Road. Funds will be used to maintain 8 medians on Carolina Forest Boulevard. They'll be getting $3,000 from District 3. The next one is for Beautify Carolina Forest. Funds will be used to maintain 11 medians on Carolina Forest Boulevard. They'll also get $3,000 from District 3. And the final one this afternoon is for the Carolina Forest Community Church. Funds will be used for maintenance for their fields, new fencing, and sand clay repair, total of $5,000 from District 3.
Is there any additions from the committee? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. There are a few attachments in the packet. Is there any old business from the committee? Hearing none, our next meeting will be on September the 22nd, 2026. Those meetings have a tendency to be changed, so please pay attention to that. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Yeah, very good.